Hey guys, so disappointing news for you. I did this really awesome video using extra normal with aliens talking to each other, and like one guy does a victory dance, and then I wouldn't publish. So you don't get to see it, it's just my face. Um, so I had a couple comments in response to Dana Boyd. The first, she talked about three properties of social networks, and I assume that she means networks that teens are using. She said those three properties are profile, friends, and public comments. And I kind of wondered how that applies to the kind of communities that we're looking at in class, because a lot of the networks that we've talked about um, don't necessarily have ways for people who are members to friend each other. And I wondered if in part that was because a lot of the networks are so um, sort of like issue focused that it's sort of like by being part of that network you're already friends with each other. So like, for example, I'm trying to think of a good one, but if you're like part of um, like a fan fiction group or something like that, then because you have that interest in common and you're part of this group, that's probably relatively small compared to the size of like Facebook and MySpace and stuff. It's like you're already friends because you're within this network. I don't know, maybe that's not true. Maybe we should ask her about that, because I think she's talking to our class tomorrow. Um, but that was just kind of, I was trying to apply that to the things that we'd looked at, and that was sort of what I thought maybe would be a possibility. And then, oh, the other thing that I just thought I would comment about, she mentions after someone asked a question, the lack of control that some people, like teenagers in particular, have over their own public image, public profile on social networking sites. And part of that is because people create profiles for each other, or because they check and update each other's profiles, or because you can present information about somebody else on your profile, that kind of thing. And that kind of ties into what we talked about with digital remembering and trying to control what's online about you, because those are areas where you don't necessarily have a lot of control over what people can see about you, and that could be a real concern for people, especially like when they're applying to college and stuff, when admissions officers are looking at that kind of thing for high school students. Um, so I thought that was sort of like another facet to the digital remembering discussion that we've kind of been having over the past few days, that we maybe hadn't necessarily touched on. So I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.